Hello everybody, my name is GhostOPTC, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new characters that have actually been leaked and are actually put into the game. So we have, as you just saw, the support Sugos as well as the Kizuna Sugos. We also have the information for 5 plus Kizuna Luffy, and also 6 plus V2 Katakuri. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the characters, so let's get started with the Kizuna characters. And I've read a bit of what they do, but they seem fine. So let's get into them. Let's go to the recommended character section and let's talk about them. So the first one up is Usopp. Now Usopp is a shooter free spirit dex character, and he is going to boost the crew's attack by 3x, HP by 1.3, and boost damage dealt to enemies with delay by 1.25. Pretty mid. Obviously, you're not going to use this guy as a captain. And let's talk about his special. So he will reduce 6 turns of resilience and threshold, boost damage dealt to delayed enemies by 1.5, changes crew's type slots to own type, and if there's 3 or more enemies present, you get a delay through immunity. Now this is a pretty mid special in my opinion. Okay, the utility is good. The type slot changing and the threshold and resilience removal is good, yeah, but it's only a 1.5 times conditional boost, and that has to be 3 or more enemies. So that leads me to believe there'll be 3 enemies on each Kizuna fight, but I just really think this is kind of a mid special. I just think that like there's so much more they could have done, and yeah, it's cool that this ignores immunity and we can't really see his crewmate abilities. But he's just a fine character. He's really just fine. And his support attaches to Luffy and Brook. And if a support character uses a special, boost damage dealt to delayed enemies by 1.5. I don't know any Luffy's or Brooks off the top of my head that delay, so I don't know how useful this will be. But yeah, just a pretty mid character in my opinion. This is definitely not a character you have to be summoning for unless you want to go really hard in the Kizuna regular fights instead of the super boss, which we'll talk about that more later. So let's move on to Brook. Now, Brook is a Dex free spirit shooter, so just like Usopp. And then let's talk about his special. So his special, once I can actually click on it, is gonna set all enemies defense to 0 for 1 turn, makes crew's recovery and tandem slots beneficial, reduces special bind and despair by 6 turns, and if there's 3 or more enemies when the special is launched, it gives a 3 times up to a 25 times chain bounty for 1 turn. Yeah, this character is just miles better than Usopp. Special Bind and Despair removal is just better than Resilience and Threshold removal. Making slots beneficial, it's worse than changing them, but it's still pretty good because you can get around certain things. Its defense to 0 is like pretty good, and I don't like that the chain boundary is locked behind 3 or more characters. However, if you do get the pop off, you have a lot of damage output with that 3 times starting, and then maxing out at 25. And his captain effect is the same thing as Usopp's, just defense down, and he evades special button by 6 turns. That's really good. And then he's just such a good character in my opinion. And let's look at the support first. He touches the Luffy and Usopp, and it's the same thing, but a defense down conditional instead of a like delayed conditional. Now this could work on Arena Luffy because he sets enemies defense to 0. But I really like this character. And if Toki's on the spinner, I will do summons, and I hope I can get my hands on this character. Just because he's such a strong character, and he's gonna definitely see play outside of Kizuna Clash. However, if you're gonna go hard in Super Boss, your best bet might be pulling on these support banners rather than these Kizuna banners. But again, it really comes down to your account. So once we actually have the information on the characters, we're going to, well, I'll talk about it. So the Usopp and the Brook, they seem fine. I don't like the 3 or more characters thing, but it doesn't matter. So the recommended characters though are Usopp, and then we have Brook, we have X Drake, which I'm missing, Kaido and the lead performers, V2 Katakuri, Zoro, and Orochi. So a pretty okay recommended list, and I don't know why I clicked that. It's an accident. But yeah, so now that we're done with the Kizuna Clash Suo Fist Banner, these characters again, they look fine. Nothing too special. They're not like I mean I was about to say they're not needed, but Kizuna. And so yeah, let's talk about the support characters. So this is the new support banner, and both of these banners actually debut on the 15th of July 2022. So let's talk about it. So we have a new VV support character. She is a Scythe Free Spirit Cerebral character, and her captain effect and special do not matter because you're not going to use these characters. But their support effect does. So it attaches to Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper now. All the Alabasta strides except Robin, because she wasn't in there, and yada yada. So anyway, reduces all enemies' threshold by 2 turns, applies minus 10% strength, quick, and dex resistance to all enemies for 1 turn, and heals crew by 3000 HP at the start of the final battle. This support could see a lot of play just because of the resistance. It obviously goes to immunity. A little bit of healing might be good for captains that want to be at high HP for their higher boosts. And the threshold removal is just cool because it's more utility, and instead of actually bringing a character to remove the resilience, threshold, you can just bring the support. Now, yes, it's kind of bland compared to some other supports, but I do like that it does apply that strength, quick, and dex resistance, because it's an extra 1.1 times boost to all of your characters when you launch when you reach the final battle. So yeah, this support is pretty good, but let's actually talk about the new 6 plus debuting in this Kizuna clash, being V2 Katakuri. So over here we have his super evolution. So obviously you need the Kizuna skulls, and he stays a side character, which I was not expecting. But let's look at this. So he's a fighter powerhouse side character still, nothing changes. And let's look at his captain effect. So he also does get a level limit break, but we won't be talking about that. So let's actually look at the captain effect now. Foreseeing power. If I can just click on it. So driven he boosts driven powers fighter slasher shooter by 4x, boosts their type effects by 1.2, makes strength, psi, recovery, and tandem beneficial, and heals 50% of the damage received during that battle at the end of the turn. So he did get like a carrot kind of effect, which is what I predicted he would get, because I mean it just made the most sense to me. That's what they did with Legend Carrot, so why wouldn't they do it with him? And pretty much everything else stays the same. They did lower the color affinity, but I think that makes a lot of sense in my opinion, because I mean otherwise it would just be kind of broken. Like it would probably be somewhere in like the 6x range. Let's look at his special. Now his special will change crew's block slots to own type. After 1 turn, boost fighter slasher, shooter, driven, and powerhouse characters attack by 2.25 for 1 turn, and it'll deal 50x the amount of accumulated damage received before special is launched in non-type damage to all enemies, maxing out at 6 million damage, and it adds 25 times the amount of accumulated damage received before special is launched in non-type damage on top of normal attacks for the whole crew, and upwards of 18 million damage with all 60 crew members. So it's similar to what I gave him. I gave him attack boost. I didn't give him the block slot removal, obviously, but it is still unique and different. It's a good special nonetheless. However, I think it's kind of bland on initial activation, just because it's like on initial activation you get the tap timing bonus and the damage, but if you have normal attacks only, you just get block slot removal, and that's just kind of weird in my opinion. I would have loved to seen a little bit more. However, he does have a level limit break and other stuff like that. But his captain effect is still very good. Only problem though, he doesn't have super type and he doesn't have super class. Once we start seeing characters with level limit breaks that have super type and super class, oh boy, that's gonna be broken. But this character, he's got a good captain effect. I know he has a limit break expanded captain effect. He also has that level limit break captain effect as well. So that's pretty good. Once again, I won't be touching on the level limit breaks in this video. I'll be touching on that in a further video when we get the new batch release. And obviously, I'll put him in the tier list once that new batch comes out. But yeah, I do like his captain effect. And his special, like I said, it's just kind of bland on an initial activation. Just because it's like, I don't know, it just really doesn't provide much for your crew. But knowing what he does with level limit break, he definitely does get better. So I can't wait for the new batch to get announced, and I can't wait to bring you guys that kind of video. But yeah, his special is fine. Like I've said it enough, but I do think this character will probably be high up in the tier list. But I obviously haven't been able to really look at that, and don't mind the Discord pin notifications. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'm glad. These characters all seem pretty good, but now that we're done actually talking about the characters that I can look at on One Piece Treasure Cruise, let's move over to the subreddit database, not subreddit database, the subreddit Discord server to see the actual effects of the 5 plus Kizuna Super Boss Luffy. Alright, so now we're here on the subreddit Discord. This is his 5-star artwork for the Kizuna Luffy. We'll be talking about his 5-star and 5-star plus, but I can tell you now, you don't need a 5-star character. The 5-star plus is just a pure upgrade, so let's talk about it. So this is the Kizuna class character we'll be farming for, who is a free spirit fighter side character. Now let's look at his effects. So his captain effect will boost Sai and Dex character's attack by 3 times, HP by 1.2. If character becomes a captain during the quest, it's a 4.5 times attack boost instead. And special will deal 80x character's attack and non-type damage to all enemies, reduces crew's special charge time by 1 turn, reduces all enemies damage reduction by 4 turns, reduces bind by 4 turns, and swaps character out for the captain for 1 turn. Now when I initially read that, I was like, this character is awful, why would they release this character? And then I realized, oh, it was a 5-star. And obviously the 5-star plus is going to be much better. Now he does resist special verse, which is pretty sick, and he makes recovery beneficial for all characters. So this is pretty I mean, obviously you're gonna want the 5-star plus version, so I'm not gonna give my opinions on this, but this is his base effects. Now let's look at his upgraded effects. So this is the upgraded artwork. This is the 5-star plus artwork, looking pretty fresh, but let's talk about him. So he is a fighter free spirit side character still, and now he has super type. So his captain will boost side and dex character's attack by 3.75, HP by 1.2, makes crew's strength, quick, and recovery beneficial. If character becomes a captain during the quest, it's a 5x boost instead. This is a very solid captain effect, and primarily you're going to be running this guy as a sub. Then he switches into the captain spot, which is pretty cool because then you get a 5x boost, a bunch of matching slots, HP boost. This character is good. There's nothing to scoff at with this character's captain effect. Obviously, because he's a free-to-play unit, you can't expect the world. You can't expect like a 1.80 times HP boost and then like a 7 times attack boost from a free-to-play unit. But still really good. Like, I don't know if I'm degrading it or not, but still. Special will deal 100x character's attack and non-type damage to all enemies. Reduces crew's special charge time by 1 turn. Reduces all enemies damage reduction by 5 turns. Reduces bind by 5 turns. And swaps character out for the captain for 1 turn. It's a very good special. Pretty much what they did was they just clocked the numbers up a bit and just made this character so much more useful. Because if they stayed it at like a 4 turns, this character probably wouldn't see play because obviously you want 5 turn removal. Because debuffs nowadays are 5 to 6 turn removal. There's barely any 4 turn debuffs. So if you have only a 4 turn debuff removal, you have to bring certain supports or you gotta figure out some way, and it's stupid. So I like this up to 5 turns. It would have been sick if they brought it up to like 6 turns, or maybe made the special charge time 2 turns. But yeah, let's read the super type condition. So when any of these characters are on the crew, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook, or Jinbei. So they've included Jinbei, which is pretty sick. And this is actually the second Psy Free Spirit fighter Luffy that has a super type. I know it's very specific, but there's 2 Psy Luffys that are Psy super type. Anyway, his super type condition will boost the chain multiplier by 1.25 times for 1 turn, locks 2 slots for 1 turn, and then changes Psy characters into super Psy. Now, we're seeing a pattern with Kizuna 5 plus Roger and this character that it looks like from now on, the 5 plus characters will probably have super type or super class, which is pretty sick. It's great for free to play players. They don't have that good of captains because this character is a good captain and he has super type, which is nice. I do like the super type being able to apply that 1.25 times chain multiplier increase, and then also locking slots is pretty sick as well because you can just carry some so you get Wano slots or something like that. You can carry Wano slots into the next room. But yeah, this character is very good. I'm not gonna touch on his Pirate Rumble stuff, and his crewman abilities do say the same, so he will still resist special verse even though it doesn't say it here. So yeah, I think this character is a very, very good character. I love that artwork, by the way, and if they give me ink effect, ooh, that could be pretty sick. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just give final touches on all the characters that we've covered. I think they're all at worst fine, but at best they're really good, and we'll see some more play. And mainly I'm talking about the 6 plus V2 Katakuri. And I also really love this Luffy, but still, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to like or subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.